Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud. We learn to lead. My name is Vikas.
So friends, in this video, we will be discussing some of the important current affairs of the topic related to international affairs of the March month. The video will be very helpful to you. So do watch the video till the end. Hit the like button, share the link of this video with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, do subscribe. So friends, let's start with the video. But before, we have something important to tell you.
Then we provide you same thing for weekly. In weekly, we take a quiz of 50 questions. Then question answers of week. We provide you a book, PDF is provided you weekly of the compiled questions of the whole week. Similarly for monthly also, ebook is given, your quizzes are taken, question answers PDF. Then apart from it, we also help you to prepare for banking papers. All the banking exams you can go refer to our videos and our courses here. You can see here the we provide you banking and economic quiz of 157 questions. Okay, then topic wise PDFs are covered. As you can see, we are making videos on indexes and reports, important days, the books and authors, all the events that are taking place in individual months. So these PDFs are provided to you and they will help you a lot in your preparation for journal awareness, your journal studies, as well as for current affairs. Then you can see we also provide you current affairs for state wise current affairs are provided to you. Apart from this, I have a gift for all of my friends here. If you use my code Vikas10, you will be getting a straight 10% discount on the purchase you make. So when you are about to check out and do the payment, just before the payment, you will be getting an option to use the promo code. There you can put the Vikas10, the code, and you will be getting an extra 10% discount on the total purchase you make there. So let's start with our video.
So friends, let's start the video. The first topic that we'll be discussing today is Babatron 2. This is a cobalt therapy machine that was donated by India to the Madagascar. I repeat, Madagascar's president Andry Rajoelina inaugurated the advanced digital cobalt therapy machine Babatron 2 that was donated by India to Madagascar. Three questions will be framed from here. Who donated Babatron to whom? It was donated by India to Madagascar. Who inaugurated this advanced digital cobalt therapy machine Babatron 2? It was inaugurated by the president of Madagascar, Andry Rajoelina. And the name can also be asked Babatron 2 directly. What, like in India donated a cobalt therapy machine to Madagascar. What is the name of the machine? It is Babatron 2. We'll look at the data. The Madagascar president Andry Rajoelina inaugurated the advanced digital cobalt therapy machine Babatron 2 for cancer treatment at Joseph Hospital in Antananarivo in the presence of India's ambassador to Madagascar, that is Abhay Kumar. Alright, then it should be noted that Babatron 2 is denoted or donated by India to Madagascar under the Cooperation of Health Sector. It was developed by Bhabha Atomic Research Center. This can also be asked like which organization developed Babatron 2? It was developed by Bhabha Atomic Research Center and it will be helping in what? In treating the cancer. Alright, for cancer treatment you can say. Then this donation also caters to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Sagar, that is security and growth for all in the Indian Ocean region. Remember this Sagar, alright, and this full form of Sagar is security and growth for all in the Indian Ocean region. Then if we look at the key points, the machine was donated on the lines of the commitment made during the visit of the President Ramnath Kovind to Madagascar in 2018. The machine has the capacity to treat 50 patients per day. If we look at some of the recent related news, Union Cabinet approved the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between India and Uzbekistan for cooperation in the solar energy sector. Next, Union Cabinet approved an MOU on scientific and technological cooperation between the Ministry of Earth Science and the National Center for Meteorology of the United Arab Emirates. So it was signed between the Ministry of Earth Science of India and National Center for Meteorology of the United Arab Emirates. Coming back to the news, Babatron was a technology that will help in treating of cancer was donated. This machine was donated by India to Madagascar and this machine was inaugurated by the president of Madagascar. Next, IEA says global CO2 emission rising again after nearly 6% fall last year. Global emission or global energy review this CO2 emission in 2020 report. All right, I repeat. IEA. First of all, we will look at it. What is IEA? IEA stands for International Energy Agency. According to a data released by International Energy Agency, global energy related CO2 emissions declined by 5.8% or 2 billion tons in 2020 due to pandemic, as it was on lockdown, the world was on lockdown, so no vehicles and factories was also running at their minimum capacity. It is the largest annual percentage decline since the World War II. More than 50% of the total global drop in CO2 emissions in 2020 was due to the decline in CO2 emissions from oil use in the transport and aviation sector. The primary energy demand also fell nearly 4% in 2020. Emissions from world largest CO2 emitters. China recorded an increase in emissions from the year 2020. Emissions increased by 0.8% or 75 million tons. In India, that is the world's largest CO2 emitter after China and USA, annual emissions declined by 7% or 160 metric tons of carbon dioxide in 2020. In the USA, the emissions decreased by 10% in 2020. If we look at some other notable declines, in the power sector, CO2 emissions declined by 3.3% in 2020, which is the largest fall on the record. The emissions from transport fell by 14% in 2020 compared to 2019 levels. Then if we look at some of the recent related news, according to first ever electricity market report of 2020 produced by International Energy Agency, the global electricity demand is expected to fall by 2% due to pandemic. If we talk about International Energy Agency, the executive director is Dr. Fatih Birol. It was established in 1974 and the headquarters of IEA is in Paris, France. Alright, so according to this report, that report released by IEA, it states that the global CO2 emissions that were declined in the 2020 year has now starting to increase in 2021. Next, Sri Lanka approves proposal to develop Colombo WCT, that is your Western Container Terminal, with India and Japan. I repeat, remember the name of these three countries. They are Sri Lanka, India and Japan. Sri Lanka has approved a proposal to develop Colombo Western Container Terminal with the help of India and Japan. Sri Lankan cabinet approved a build, operate and transfer proposal for developing the West Container Terminal of Colombo South Port with parties nominated by Indian and Japanese government. The port will be developed in collaboration with the Sri Lankan Port Authority. Indian High Commission has nominated Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone Limited, while the Japanese government is yet to nominate a party that will be helping Sri Lankan Port Authority in developing this West Container Terminal. As per the agreement, the Western Container Terminal will be operated over a period of 35 years as a public-private partnership model with APSEZ and its local representative John Keells Holding PLC and Sri Lankan Port Authority. India and Japan will have 85% stake in this Western Container Terminal. Alright, then if we look at the increase in China's influence in this area is that WCT is located near the $500 million Chinese Chinese container jetty at the Colombo International Container Terminal. As part of its Belt and Road Initiative, China is developing many infrastructure ports in Sri Lanka. It has invested around $8 billion in infrastructure projects. In 2017, Sri Lankan handed over its Hambantota port to China as a debt swap, as they were not able to pay back the amount or the debt that was on Sri Lanka Sri Lanka. So the Sri Lankan government has to give away their Hambantota port to China. And it was in news also recently. It was a big news. So to counter the power of China in that region, India along with Japan is building this WCT in the Colombo by the name Western Container Terminal. Next we'll be talking about International Year of the Millets. 2023 has been recognized as the International Year of the Millets by UNGA. Alright, unanimously adopts India sponsored resolution declaring 2023 as the International Year of Millets. Alright, so United Nations General Assembly has accepted the India's proposal to declare 2023 as the International Year of Millets. The United Nations General Assembly has adopted a resolution that was sponsored by India to mark 2023 as the International Year of Millets. The resolution was initiated by India along with Bangladesh, Kenya, Nepal, Nigeria, Russia, and Senegal. Alright, the important question becomes like which country initiated this resolution to declare year 2023 as the International Year of Millets, and it was India. The resolution titled International Year of Millets 2023 was supported over by 70 nations. The objective is to raise awareness about health benefits of its grain and sustainability for cultivation under changing climate conditions. What are the implementing agencies? The resolution called for the Food and Agriculture Organization, that is FAO, of the United Nations to implement the International Year of the Millets in 2023. Next, benefits of the International Year of Millets. The adoption of resolution will invite enhanced investment in the research and development and extension services related to millets. It is also expected to create awareness about millet production, which will contribute to food security, nutrition, ensure livelihoods and incomes of farmers, poverty and eradication. It will help in achieving sustainable development goals in regions which are drought prone or threatened by climate change. It will promote millet as one of the main components of food basket. Alright, so which country proposed to make 2023 as the International Year of Millet is India. Alright. Next we'll be talking about BrahMos missiles. BrahMos missiles supply. India signs a key pact with Philippines for sale of defense equipment. I repeat, India has signed a key pact with Philippines for a sale of defense equipments. Alright, so that means India will be supplying Philippines with their missiles by the name BrahMos. Next, if we look at the data, Philippines has signed an implementing agreement for procurement of defense material and equipment with India during a pact sign ceremony at the camp in Manila, headquarters of Armed Forces of the Philippines. So where is the headquarters of the Armed Forces of Philippines? It is in Manila. The agreement involves the procurement of defense equipments by equipment by Philippines from India. It was signed by India's ambassador to the Philippines, that is Shambhu S. Kumaran, and Philippines Defense Undersecretary Raimundo Elefante in the presence of Philippine Defense Secretary. Indo-Philippines implementing arrangement. It is a foundational agreement for government-to-government contracts and will serve as a guideline for the Philippines and India on policies and procedures in the defense procurement. Under this pact, there is a possible sale of the Indo-Russian BrahMos supersonic cruise missile to the Philippines. Alright. Then India and Russia have been planning to export BrahMos supersonic cruise missile to several other countries. If we talk about the BrahMos missile, it is produced by an Indo-Russian joint venture firm BrahMos Aerospace, and it can be launched from submarine ships and aircrafts or from land platforms. It is a joint venture, you can say, between Defense Research and Development Organization, that is the DRDO of India, and Russia's NPO. Alright, then it is only supersonic cruise missile in the world that flies at 3 times the speed of sound, that is 2.8 Mach. Remember, this term Mach defines the speed of light is equal to speed of sound. I correct, not speed of light. It is equal to speed of sound. So if we say 2 Mach, that means that particular aircraft or missile is traveling at twice the speed of sound. Next, India is working to extend the range of BrahMos missile. The version that will be exported will come with a normal range of 290 kilometers. Alright, so this was a key pact between India and Philippines for the sale of defense equipment. Also, there is a rumor that BrahMos missiles will be delivered to Philippines. Next we'll be looking at first world's first platypus sanctuary to come out at Australia. Remember, if the question will be direct, like where the world's first platypus sanctuary will be made, it will be made in Australia. Australia is building the world's first sanctuary for platypus, an egg-laying mammal. In a is a semi-aquatic creature that generally lives in small streams and slow-moving rivers at play-cool temperature. Platypus is considered to be a protected species in Australia whose population was severely affected in 2019-20 Australian bushfires. The sanctuary is built to promote its breeding and rehabilitation, consisting of mostly ponds and burrows housing up to 65 platypus is planned to be built by 2022. Then next, Pakistan to remain in FATF's grey list till June 2021. Alright, what is grey list? Grey list is basically if a country is put in a grey list, that means that country is dealing with terrorism. Alright, simple and sober. That the particular country is dealing with terrorism, it has been put in grey list. So, Financial Action Task Force, the global money laundering and terrorist financing watchdog that's headquarters is in Paris, France, has retained Pakistan on its grey list, also called an increased monitoring group, till June 2021, as Pakistan has failed to implement the 27-point action plan mandated by FATF. It means that Pakistan will have difficulties getting financial aid from International Monetary Fund, World Bank, Asian Development Bank and European Union. Alright, so the question will be which country retained the FATF's grey list, or Pakistan was still remained in the dash list till June 2021. It is FATF's grey list, that is Financial Action Task Force, due to which now they won't be able to get financial assistance from IMF, World Bank, ADB and European Union. Next, also remember that recently Indian Air Force has the Indian Air Force joins multinational air exercise Desert Flag 6. Alright, for the first time Indian Air Force is participating in an annual multinational large force enforcement warfare exercise Desert Flag 6. This Desert Flag 6 is an annual multinational large force enforcement warfare exercise that is held at Al Dhafra Airbase, that is in United Arab Emirates. Direct, you need to remember that this Desert Flag 6 was held in UAE and in which Indian Air Force also took part. This exercise is hosted by UAE Air Force from March 3 to 27, 2021. Next. More than 931 million tons of food thrown away in waste bins every year, a report of United Nations. I repeat, more than 931 million tons of food is thrown away in waste bins every year, a report by United Nations. According to Food Waste Index report that was released by UNEP and WRAP, that is United Nations Environment Program and Waste and Resource Action Program, found that around 931 million tons of food waste was generated in 2019. It equals to 17% of food that is produced globally. 61% of this food waste was generated by household, 26% from food services and 13% from the retails. At the global level, 74 kg per capita of food is wasted every year. In India, the per capita food wastage is 50 kg at the household level, and it is estimated that India generates 6,87,60,163 tons of food waste every year. That is equal to 68 million, roughly 68 million tons of food wasted every year. The 2015 Sustainable Development Goal aims to have half the food waste to reduce food loss by 2030. That means, according to the 2015 Sustainable Development Goals, the aim is to reduce the food waste to half by 2030. In addition to food loss index developed by the Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations, food waste index covers food's journey, food waste occurring at household, food services and retail level. Alright, so do remember this data also, that this report was released by Food Waste Index 20 report. Food Waste Index report of 2021 was released by UNEP and WRAP, that is United Nations Environment Program, along with WRAP, that is your Waste and Resource Action Program. Next, Reliance Power forms joint venture with JERA for 745 megawatts project in Bangladesh. I repeat, Reliance Power has formed a joint venture with JERA for 745 megawatt project in Bangladesh. If we look at the data, a joint venture was formed between Reliance Power and Japan headquartered JERA Company Incorporation to build, own and operate 745 megawatt gas-fired power generation project in Bangladesh. The key points to remember regarding this is, as a part of this project, Reliance Power's wholly owned subsidiary Samalkot Power has received the approval from the Export-Import, this is known as Exim Bank, Export-Import Bank of the United States, to sell one module of equipment to Samsung C&T Corporation of South Korea for rupees 1,540 crore. This is because Samsung C&T Corporation is the EPC, that is engineering, procurement and construction contractor of the project. Also with this, Reliance Power is expected to reduce debt by 3,000 crore rupees. R Power also relocate the equipment from Samalkot to Bangladesh owing to non-availability of natural gas for this project. Alright, so direct question that you need to remember in this is, recently which Indian company formed a joint venture with JERA to produce 745 megawatt project in Bangladesh? It was Reliance Power. It can be asked, Reliance Power forms a joint venture with JERA to produce a power project in which country? In Bangladesh. Alright. Then moving on to next. Next is India's fourth partner energy sets up a joint venture in Indonesia. I repeat, India's fourth partner energy sets up joint venture in Indonesia. Indian company by the name Fourth Partner Company, that is 4PEL, entered into a partnership with Indonesian energy major Indica Energy to set up a joint venture company, Ampat Mitra Indika Tengah Surya. I repeat, Indian company is fourth partner energy, and the company of Indonesia is Indica Energy. They both have formed a joint venture, and the name of the joint venture company is Ampat Mitra Indika Tengah Surya. Alright, this EMITS will establish integrated solar storage and electric vehicles charging projects in Indonesia. The joint venture in EMITS, 51% stake held by Indica Energy, that is of Indonesia, and 49% by 4PEL, that is Fourth Partner Energy of India. Note that currently 4PEL is building solar parks in Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu with an operational portfolio of 400 megawatts. If we talk about EMITS is expected to bring investment of $500 million to Indonesia in the next 5 years. EMITS will increase revenue in the non-coal segment by 50% by 2025. Fourth Partner Energy is looking to expand its business to Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Myanmar and Singapore. If we talk about Indonesia, the president is Joko Widodo, capital is Jakarta, currency is Indonesian rupiah. Fourth Partner Energy then executive director and co-founder is Vivek Subramaniam. Headquarter is in Hyderabad, Telangana, and this company Fourth Partner Energy that is an Indian company. It was founded in 2010. Alright, so this was your regarding the Fourth Partner Energy that has set up a joint venture in Indonesia with the Indonesian company Indica Energy, and together they have formed a company named EMITS. Alright, next. And this EMITS will be working in the energy sector in Indonesia. Next, Singapore ranks first. India ranks 121 in the 26th Asia Pac Economic Freedom Index. I repeat, rank of India in the Economic Freedom Index is 121, and the rank of Singapore, or the first rank in the Economic Freedom Index, is of Singapore. Alright. India with a score of 56.5 was ranked 121 with the category mostly free. Alright, I repeat, The score of India was 56.5. India was ranked 121 and the country that topped was Singapore. India has ranked in the category mostly free in the 2021 Index of Economic Freedom, that is the 27th annual edition that was released by the Heritage Foundation. Singapore has topped the list for the second time and this was followed by New Zealand and Australia. India ranked 26th among the 40 countries in the Asia Pacific region and its overall score is below the regional and world averages. This is the first time that index has been published after the COVID-19 pandemic. Around 184 countries have been covered in the index. The period of study is from July 2019 to June 2020. For the first time, the Heritage Foundation has excluded Hong Kong from its ranking. Hong Kong has topped the index for 25 out of 27 years. The global economic remains moderately free in the 2021 index. The global average of the economic freedom remained unchanged at 61.6 for the second year in a row. Alright, and it is the highest average score in the index history. Indian rank is 121, first is Singapore, second is New Zealand and third is Australia in the which index? In the economic freedom index. Next we'll be talking about ISA. Recently Italy has joined the ISA, that is International Solar Alliance, under the amended ISA framework agreement. Question will be direct. Which country recently joined the ISA framework? It was joined by what? Italy, and ISA stands for International Solar Alliance. Italy joined the ISA, also known as International Agency for Solar Policy and Application, after signing the amended ISA framework agreement. Alright, the new ISA framework agreement came into force on 8th of January 2021. Under the new amended framework, the membership of ISA is open to all member states of the United Nations. Previously, it was open to countries that were partially or entirely located within the tropics. Then, the signed copies of the agreement were received by an additional secretary as representative of MEA. MEA is the depository of the ISA framework agreement. Note that Italy holds the current presidency of G20 and co-presidency of COP26. Alright, next. World's first ship tunnel to be built in Norway. I repeat, this will be a tunnel which will be cut through a mountain. Alright, so this is important. World's first tunnel that will be built by Norway. World's first ship tunnel by the name Stad Ship Tunnel is to be constructed in Norway. The tunnel will run underneath the mountains in Norway's Stadvet Peninsula and will help the ships to cross the Stadvet Sea. It will be constructed by Norwegian Coastal Administration. The works on the bridge will commence in 2022 and is expected to get completed by 2025 or 2026. The tunnel project is the part of Norwegian government's national transport plan for the period of 2014 to 2023, which aims to identify projects to transfer 25% of all goods transported by roads to sea and rail modes. What is the specification of this tunnel? It measures around 1,700 meters long and 37 meters high with 26.5 meter wide. If we talk about the capacity of tunnel, it is capable of holding ships of up to 16,000 tons. Fund allocation for this is the estimated cost for building the ship tunnel is about 2.8 billion Norwegian kroner, or you can say $330 million. The tunnel will connect the Kjolpen Bay with and Venilsfjorden. Alright, next. The reason for the tunnel to being built is that at present ships have to wait for days for harsh weather conditions and rough tides to improve in the Stadvet Sea before transiting the area or for transporting from one location to another. The tunnel will be large enough to accommodate large ships also. It is expected to strengthen the area's industrial and commercial activities. So this Stad Ship Tunnel will be built by Norway and the location is Norway's Stadvet Peninsula. Next is that Singapore is building the world's largest floating solar farm. Alright, I repeat, country in the world that is building the world's largest floating solar farm is Singapore. And if we talk about in India, this is being built in where? Ramagundam, that is in Telangana. All right, India's largest floating solar power plant is being built at Ramagundam, that is in Pedapalli district of Telangana. All right, so Indian state is Telangana, and if we are talking about world, it is Singapore.
So friends, this was our video. I hope you enjoyed our video. If you liked our video, do hit the like button, share the link with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel or if you are new to our channel, then do subscribe because it motivates us to bring a better content for you guys. Also, if you have any trouble regarding login or payment or any other issues, then you can reach to us on our mail, that is support@affairscloud.com, or you can call us on the number 9677333862 and we'll resolve your issue as soon as possible. Also, you should go and check our courses that are available at a very reasonable price, and that will help you to boost your preparations for upcoming government exams. You can use the code Vikas10 to get a straight 10% discount on any purchase you make. All right, so that's all for the day. Take care.